Hello, hello, hello. Yo, it's about 7:40 this morning. Another gorgeous morning out here. It's not as cold as it was yesterday. Although the temperature reflects that, but it's really not. I had a great day yesterday. It's crazy when you own your own, yo. Because if you let's say you in debt, let's say you too much behind on your mortgage, too much behind on your car payments, and you got all these bills. If you work a regular job, it's really no way that you can get yourself out of debt without going into more debt, because you can't determine what you bring home. So that means you got to go get a part-time job. You got to go do something like that to bring in extra income. When you work for yourself, though, right? You can decide how much harder you want to hustle. Because like yesterday when I got there, because I drove down, it kind of affected me when I got there. I was kind of really tired. I didn't really feel like doing anything. About 12 o'clock, I started, I had to start talking to myself. And I had these mental battles with myself, and I had to let myself know, like, self, look, this is your stuff, you know what I'm saying? You need to get out here and make it happen, because either you gonna make money or you not gonna make money, right? So that's when I had to set myself goals. And I set my goal, and I was like, I need to hit this goal right here. This is my goal for the day, because I know I'm kind of out of it. I can get a room, sleep tonight, come back in the mall and get it in the mall. But when I set my goal, it kind of pushed me into overdrive, because before I knew, I had almost sold out. I had to slow down again like I did last week, right? And it was great, because now what I thought would take me 3 months to do, I pretty much took care of in a month, right? So what that does is that puts me in a position to be able to go out there and do more, because I can invest more time, I can invest more money, because I have more money, and more energy into other things that's going to give me more, right? I'm not just doing the same, I'm not just in the wheel like a mouse in the wheel, just going around and round and round. That's why they call it the rat race, because it's really, the rat race is never ending, right? You just going, the rat race is you in the ball going around and around and around and around in a circle. I don't like doing the same thing over and over again, hoping, leaving it up to fate for something different. When I put it in my hands and I say, look, this is what I'm going to do. This is what, because you can't control what other people do, right? But you can control what you do. So when I say this is what I'm going to do, I make a plan. I create the goals for my plan. And then I work the plan. You can't fail. I have a saying that says, if you work the work will work, right? And it's crazy. If you work the work, so work the work means if you work your plan. So if you create a plan, that's the work, right? Creating a plan. So whatever your plan is, that's the work, right? And if you work your plan, if you have a smart plan, right? And when I say smart plan, I mean specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timed. That's smart. If you have a smart plan, right, it will work. Specific, you saying, okay, I got a goal. I want to make X amount of dollars this week. This is my goal. Measurable. How can I measure if I hit my goal? Well, I know if I sell X amount, I'm going to hit my goal, right? Achievable. I'm not saying I want to go out there and make $1 million in 2 days. That's not achievable. But I can say I want to make $4,000 in 2 days, right? That's achievable. Realistic. Once again, like I said, realistic means, hey, this is something I know I can go out here and do, because I have this product. I know if I hustle this amount, that I can make it happen in time. I'm not saying I want to do it in a month. I'm not doing it in 2 months. I'm not doing it in 3 months. No, I want to do that this weekend. That's my goal. So even if I say, oh, I want to make $10,000 this weekend, that's my goal, for say, not giving you hypothetical. hypothetically, if my goal was 10,000 this weekend and I had to weigh to measure that out, right? Even if I fell short of my goal, if I set my bar high enough, I still win, right? So if I really only needed 2,000 and I set my goal for 10,000, if I hit 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, right? I didn't hit my $10,000 mark, my goal, right? But I still achieved what I wanted. If I set, so that's another reason why you got to set your goals high. But the sun is killing me. But even when you set your goals high, they still have to be smart. So you can't say I want to make $1 million in a weekend, because then you know that's not realistic, right? Unless you have a big network and you have a product that you know that you can go out here and get. Like if you use a speaker and well, if I go out here and rent this arena, if I go and rent M&T Bank Stadium and I pack it and I charge $500 a ticket, guess what? Then you probably can make $1 million in a weekend. But if you're just an average person and you sell candles, right? And you out here selling candles, that's not realistically, you shouldn't realistically expect to make $1 million unless you have a big network, unless you have a whole bunch of customers that you already have and you can run a special and say, hey, I'm doing this. Then it's possible you can make $1 million in a weekend, right? But you can't go from making zero to making $1 million in a weekend. That's not realistic, right? So that's why I say your goals have to be smart. And that's what I did. So what I'm trying to tell you is ownership is freedom. It's truly freedom, because the thing that really keeps you enslaved is your debt, your bills, right? That's what keeps you enslaved. And if you work a regular job, it's really hard to get out of debt without sacrificing a whole lot, right? And me, I want to have my house paid off. I want to have my cars paid off. And I don't want to take the full length of the loan to do it. I don't want to take 30 years to pay my house off. I want to do it in 10, right? Realistically, I couldn't do that without a whole bunch of sacrifice and working a whole bunch if I'm an employee. But as an owner, if I'm running my business right, I have more of an opportunity to make that happen, right? Because I have more disposable income coming in, right? So now that I'm caught up, let's say, I'm caught up, probably one more, well, I could be caught up this week, but I choose not to because I want to invest in more products to get me ahead. But I'm going to keep doing the same thing. I'm going to keep making these payments like I have to lower my debt. Like Dave Ramsey said, it's no such thing as good debt. Even in business, it's better to not have debt. Like business, if you go to business school, they teach you that debt is good in your business. And that can be true because it's more write-offs that you can have. But if you're making a ton of money, you really don't need it, right? If you're willing to give the government what they owe, what you owe them, and you're not trying to cheat nobody, you don't need to have a lot of debt, right? So I really believe in Dave Ramsey's financial freedom plan, his whole philosophy with that. But it feels like I said, if you're not an owner, you don't own your own, you're not running your own business, or you're not making a plan to own your own business. If you plan to just work your job until you retire, you might want to think of a different plan, because your future is unpredictable. You look at a lot of these older people right now that work for 40, 50 years, and they talking about stopping Social Security. Think about it. If they just stop something that you've been paying in your whole life, and then all of a sudden it stops, right? Because of the debt or whatever. Then what? Or you ever thought about you're saving, you say, okay, I need $1 million, I need $1.2 million or $1.5 million to live off of when I turn 65 or 70, right? Let's say 65, you want to retire at 65 from your job. So you put this money into your 401k because you know it's going to cost me, based off your debt right now, it's going to cost you X amount of years to survive another 25 years. But what happened is if 25 years from now, the value of the dollar isn't the same? What if it's less, right? Then what do you do? Now you can't live the way you wanted to live. Or now you're 75 years old, 80 years old, working in Walmart. Not because you want to, but because you have to. That's the difference, because a lot of older folks tell me that working keeps them young, right? And I totally agree. My grandfather, he's 86 years old. He used to deliver, he had his own business. He retired from a job, still had his own business. And now, because he didn't want to just get sedentary in the house, he started delivering parts for advanced auto parts. And that's what keeps him young. But he did it because he liked doing it. He would go in, even if they didn't want him to, even if they wasn't paying him, he would probably go and do this because it kept him moving, right? So I'm not talking about working because you want to. I'm talking about working because you have to, because if you don't, you won't have nowhere to live. You know what I mean? It's about creating financial freedom. Like right now I have an insurance policy, but my insurance policy is just the substitute until I create a network of wealth where I don't need it anymore. Right? Where my family will be well off if something happens to me. Ownership. I had a lot of stuff I was going to talk about today, but I don't want to just make this a whole long... Well, it's my journal. I can make it what I want, but I just really wanted to get that out there. Yo, ownership is 100% what everyone should be doing. I think employees, whoever thought of being an employee is crazy, because you could be self-employed. I don't know why we're not set up in a system where everybody is self-employed. Like we sell our time to people and we can barter our time and not have to be set on a salary, because my skill is different. Maybe my work ethic may be different from yours. We may show up at the same job every day, but my work ethic, what it takes you 8 hours to do it, it only take me 3. So I don't understand why we would get paid the same thing. But that was a system I feel like that was created to kind of keep you in check, to keep you barely below. So you got a lot of people out here struggling at minimum wage because it's almost impossible to live off $10 an hour. But as an owner, I don't feel like it's the responsibility of the company to make sure you have what you need to have. The company is just saying, look, I need X amount of time, I need this type of work done. This is what I'm offering for X amount of work. Either you can do it or you can't do it, right? I don't think we should have those employee, those minimums and all that kind of stuff, because you might can't work for $10 an hour because you got a family of 5. But this guy can work for $6 an hour because it's just him. So why should he can do the same work that he can do? He don't need a lot. He happy to be there for $6 an hour. Why not, as a company, pay $6 an hour? These are things you have to think about. And when you become an owner, you start thinking about these things, right? Value. Because most employees don't do any. Most employees, I'm not saying all employees, and I'm speaking from an employee perspective, Because I used to be an employee. Oh, the sun is really getting me right now. I'm trying to turn it so you can't see. I guess you just got to listen to my voice. It ain't going to help none that way either, because the way I'm at. But, you know, I work mostly, when I work Monday through Friday, Monday I was just getting off the weekend. And Sunday, you know, football comes on Sunday, basketball, you hang out on Sundays. You really just don't feel like going to work on Monday. So Monday, you really don't do a lot. You really don't get kicked in Monday to about 2 o'clock. And you start figuring out what you're going to do for the rest of the week. Then Tuesday, you do work. That's when you get most of your work done. Wednesday is hump day. You just can't wait for the weekend to be here. You right at the middle. So you're doing a little bit more. Thursday, you getting up, you try to finish up stuff that you had to do all week that you've been putting off. And Friday, you know, you work a half a day most of the time. By 11, 12 o'clock, it's like I'm off and you around the water cooler chilling with your people, right? Talking about what y'all gonna do after work or happy hour or on the weekend, right? Most employees don't do anything but just feed the clock. That's it. Take up time, feed the clock. Right? So as an owner, I don't feel like I should have to pay somebody X amount of dollars to feed the clock if they're not valued at that. So it's about knowing your value. But if you know your value, you become an owner. And as an owner, you make what you're worth. Right? That's how it goes. As an owner, you make what you're worth. And I'm an employee, but I'm an employee of my business. So damn, the sun is really hard this morning. It's coming up back there. But I'm an employee of my business. So because I take my business seriously, I'm putting work in. But think about like what I said last year. I didn't last year. I didn't put the work in. So let's think about if I was just a regular employee, I'd just be feeding the clock. I'd just be wasting time. You know? So that's things you have to start thinking about. You gotta start escaping that slavery, I just want to do enough to get by mentality, and own your own. Stop being afraid to own your own, because in the long run, it pays off. If you don't know how to get started, send me a message. I'll show you how to get started in 3 steps. I'll show you 3 easy steps on how you can get started in owning your own business. Most of y'all are not going to like the steps because it's not easy. It's not like just showing up somewhere and getting paid on Friday. But your time, but if your time is valuable, what they paying you on Friday ain't worth it. You complaining, you feel like you should be all board, because if I'm sitting somewhere for 8 hours, I'm trying to walk out with some bread. Let me see, I got yesterday at 9, 10, I got set up about 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30. 7 hours, 7.5 hours, because I was walking out. I was trying to get out there before, like 15 minutes before it ended, right? So I could hop on the road, and people were still coming up to me. So I was sitting there. I'm feeding you. You giving me money? I'm gonna sit there for you, right? But I worked 7.5 hours max yesterday, and walked out when most of y'all don't. What I walked out with yesterday, most of y'all don't even make it a month. Ownership. You gotta be willing to take sacrifices to be an owner. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. Is it work? It's definitely work. But you're not gonna work it. You're not. But when you sacrifice hard work, right? I don't even want to say hard work. You sacrifice, because I put in work. Like I drove 5 hours back because I didn't want to stay in a hotel. I drove 5 hours back. Now I'm driving 5 hours back again, and then 5 hours back, right? But I'm driving that back and forth today because I'll probably make more today. Well, I know I'll make more today than most of y'all making the whole month today. as an employee, I'll make more today than most of y'all make in a month today. So that's me putting in that work. But guess what? Tomorrow, right, I could lay in my bed all day. Tuesday, my Sabbath, lay in the bed. I could take the rest of the week off if I wanted to. So I sacrificed those hours in the 2 days. And I really didn't have to put in all that work. I could have got a hotel last night, paid $100, got a hotel, and cut and saved me 8 hours. Right? So it would only been 8. Let me see, it took me 4 to drive down, 5 to drive down, 5 to drive back, that's 10. 7, 17, I probably work 4 hours a day, 21 hours, you know, but instead of working 21, I work 31, but it's because I chose to drive home because I didn't want to get a hotel, right? I love sleeping in my bed. But so that's work to me. That's me putting in that work. That's me saying, no, I'm going to invest my time like this because this is what I want. I'm comfortable like this, right? As an owner, you can do that. I know people that work for Amazon, and Amazon got mandatory overtime. That means if you satisfied with your check after 40 hours, guess what? You still got to go work another 20 hours or 30 hours that week because that's what they said. Right? So they paying you for your time, and it might be even good pay for what you think your time is valued at, but you still answer to somebody. You don't come in, don't show up to work tomorrow. That's a master. I don't want to, I'm my own master. I want to decide. When I'm ready to get up and leave, I get up and let dip. But when I'm there, I put it in. I put in my work. I don't go to the bathroom. I don't eat. I don't do none of that because when I'm not there, I'm losing money. And when I'm there, I'm in there getting it. When you're an employee, it's just the opposite. You're trying to spend your whole day finding something, trying to look busy, so nobody can come mess with you. Yeah, that's a different mentality. You have to shed that mentality. You have to shed the slave mentality. We can all be masters. All of us can be masters. Once you shed that slave mentality, you can be a master. Hey, I tell you what, if you don't know how, like I said, send me a message. 3 easy steps. I'm gonna show you how to become an owner. That's it for the day. I'm about to go ahead and get this bread. I'm not far. I'm about 2 hours away, but I don't want to take up no more of my time right now. Save it for something else. I got something else that I wanted to say, but I'll save that for something else, for a different video. Y'all be easy.